What's up everyone, welcome back to the new video. This video will be about understanding the currency futures and exotics. Let's get started with the definitions. So first come the currency futures. Actually, the currency futures are representing the major currencies of the economies like the Euro futures, the GBP futures, the AUD, the NZD, the CAD, JPY, and the Swiss franc futures. These are the symbols, the 6E, the 6B, the 6A. And for the micro, you can use the M6E, which will be micro Euro futures, M6B, micro GBP futures, and so on. Now, these are the correlated futures. The Euro and GBP are moving alongside, they are correlated. The AUD and NZD, the CAD and CHF. Now comes exotics. So actually the exotics mean trading two currencies against each other rather than trading it against the US dollar. Like for example, Euro JPY, we are trading Euro against the Japanese yen, CAD JPY, GBP CAD. And exotics, the dollar is not involved. Now comes the measure. So measures are the currency which we are trading against the US dollar, like the Euro USD, the AUD USD. Now inside the measures, there are two types of measures. The first one is USD XXX pairs, in which the USD is a quote pair are the first pair, and this one, these are moving along with the dollar. Like for example, the USD is moving up, then the USD CAD and the USD JPY will move up. And XXX USD pairs in which the other pair come first and the USD comes later, these will move against the US dollar. Like for example, the Euro USD, the GBP USD, the NZD USD, and so on. Now come the crosses. So the crosses are when we are trading the correlated currencies against each other. This typically occurs when the dollar is consolidating. Like for example, we are trading Euro against the GBP, which are the correlated assets, CAD against the CHF, which are also the correlated asset, and we will talk about this later in the video. So this is the table of the contracts, the AUD-USD, the CAD-USD. These are their symbols which we are trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. 6A, 6C for the CAD-USD. These are the tick values. AUD-USD one tick value is $10. For the CAD it is $10. For the USD it is 12.5. For the GBP it is 6.25, and so on. Now comes the main part of the video, which is how to trade and use the currency futures. Currency futures are available through the futures brokers. You can trade them with the funded accounts. Now the relationship with the spot pairs, as you seen in the previous slide, the XXX USD pair, like for example EURUSD and GBP USD, if the spot moves up, the future will also move up. Like for example, I will pull up the Euro USD chart. If it is going up, then the 6E, which is the Euro future, will also move up. Now for USD XXX pairs, which are trading alongside the dollar, if the spot moves up, then the future moves down. Like think of the USD CAD, in which USD is the first pair, CAD is the weaker or the second pair. If the USD CAD is moving up, it means the dollar is strong, then the CAD will be going down. So we will short the futures of the CAD. Now these are the schematics, like for example, Euro USD versus micro futures M6E. So this is the Euro USD chart. Same moves will occur on the futures chart. Euro USD trending downwards, the futures are also trending downwards. So these are the two charts in comparison. Now the USD JPY and the 6J futures. The USD JPY is moving alongside the dollar, in which the USD is a stronger pair. So when the USD JPY is moving down, the Japanese yen will move up. And when the USD dollar is moving up, the Japanese yen will move down. And this way you can trade them with the futures broker. Like for example, you will pull up the Euro USD chart and you will execute it on this futures chart, which is the M6E. And for the Japanese yen, if the USD JPY is trending downwards, then you can long the futures of it. And if it is moving upward, you can short the futures opposite to it. Now the second part of the video is how to trade exotics. So in exotics protocol, we will compare the individual currencies for their strength and weaknesses. We will compare the strong versus weak pair. Like for example, if euro is bullish and the JPY is bearish, then we will long the euro JPY because the euro will be dominating the JPY and it will move to the upside. Now the second one is strong versus consolidating. In this case, we will pick a strong pair. Like for example, if the GBP is a stronger pair and the CAD is consolidating, then we will long the GBP CAD because the GBP is long and it will dominate the CAD which is consolidating and it will move to the upside. Now weak versus consolidating. In this example, if the AUD is the weak pair and the CHF is consolidating, so we will short the AUD because the AUD is dominating the CHF, which is consolidating, and it will move to the downside. Now you will avoid the weak versus strong pair, the weak versus weak pair, and the strong versus strong pair because it lacks the directional bias. Now we will go over the steps to identify trades. First, you have to check the individual future charts. Like for example, Euro, JPY, and ZD, you have to pick the strong pair or the weak pair, and then you have to compare the strong pair versus weak, the weak versus consolidating, and the strong versus consolidating. Now this is the schematic from the last week's price section. In this case, the British pound futures, which is bullish and trending to the upside, and the 6J, which is the JPY futures, these are trending to the downside as you can see in the chart, which result in the GBP JPY. The first pair is the GBP and the second is the JPY. The GBP is dominating the trend because it is bullish and the JPY is short. So the exotic will be the JBP against the JPY and it is also going to the upside. Now we will go over some examples of trading the exotics and comparing the currencies. Now starting with our first example, we will go over the strong versus weak pair in the exotic protocol. So usually the stronger pair would be the AUD, the GBP. So let's search for the GBP, which will be 6B, the British pound futures. Going into the British pound future is trending to the upside on this day. We have a candle 2 closure and then expansion to the upside. Now we will compare a weaker pair against the GBP. Let's search for a weaker pair. Let's start with the Japanese yen futures. That would be 6J. Going into the Japanese yen futures, as you can see, we are trending to the downside. So it means that the Japanese yen is weaker. Now for the exotic protocol, we will compare the stronger pair versus the weaker pair. In this case, the GBP was stronger and the Japanese yen is weaker. So the exotic will be the GBP JPY. So let's search for that. And as you can see, going into the GBP JPY pair, the GBP is the first pair which is bullish, dominating the JPY, which is bearish. So the exotic is now bullish and it is trending to the upside. Now from this point, we go to the lower time frames and look for the entries. So here I have annotated the chart in the start of the week. So on Tuesday, we are having a classic expansion profile. Tuesday reversal, change in the state of delivery, then expansion to the upside, and Friday return back into the range from the Thursday high. So that is how you can compare the two pairs against each other. Now we will go over some other examples. So starting with the Australian dollar futures, which is usually a stronger pair. The Australian dollar futures is trending to the downside. So that means it is weaker. Now we will compare a consolidating pair with it if we found one. So starting with the CHF, XS, which is the Swiss franc futures. So it is likely consolidating pair. Now on Friday, we have taken the consolidation range high, but all the week it was consolidating pair. Now we will compare the AUD CHF because the AUD is the weaker pair and the CHF is a consolidating pair. So that means that the product will be weaker. The AUD CHF, which is exotic. And as you can see, the AUD CHF was indeed a weaker pair. We are having a closure below the up close candles, which is an order block. And now we are trending to the downward aggressively to these lows. Now in this point in time, the euro is trending to the upside. Now we will compare a weak pair with the euro, so we can long the euro against the XXX pair, which is weaker. In this case, the euro is trending to the upside after taking this candle's low. Now we will compare a weaker pair. So starting with the JPY, we will go to the 6J. So the Japanese yen futures are trending to the downside. We can also pair the Euro JPY per longs, but now we need a consolidating pair. So we will go to the New Zealand dollar 6N. It is also trending to the downside, and we will search the 6S, which is the Swiss franc futures, and it is consolidating between the range high and the range low, and we are having an inside bar candle, and it's also looking like a long-term consolidation. Now that the euro is bullish, we can compare the CHF against it. The exotic will be the euro CHF, because the CHF is a consolidating pair and the euro is stronger, so the euro will dominate the trend and it will expand to the upside. So searching for the euro CHF exotic, and as you can see, the euro CHF is expanding to the upside and supporting the order blocks. So this was the example of comparing the stronger pair versus the consolidating pair. Now in last comes how to trade the crosses. So usually we do not trade the crosses until the dollar is consolidating. Like for example, when dollar is long-term consolidating, then we can trade the crosses. We will compare the euro futures with the GBP futures. And if the euro is bullish and the GBP is weak or consolidating, then we can long the euro GBP, same as the previous pairs. But in this case, we need the dollar to be consolidating in long term. Now in the last example, we will go over trading the crosses, which are the correlated pairs against each other. So we will go to the dollar index chart, and we will look for the period in which the dollar is consolidating. So moving to this period, the dollar was consolidating between the range high and the range low. So we will go to the CAD futures. The CAD futures are trending to the upside. Now we will look for the CHF. The CHF is consolidating. Now at this point of time, when the dollar is consolidating, we can long the CAD pairs and against its correlated pair, which is the Swiss franc future. It is also consolidating. So it means comparing the CAD against the weaker pair. The weaker pair in this case will be its correlated pair. So going into the CAD CHF. And now as you can see, the CAD is dominating the trend against the CHF and it is moving to the upside. But this will only occur when the dollar is consolidating. We will not trade the crosses when the dollar is trending. Apologies for not going through the explanatory example because the FX replay doesn't have the futures chart yet. This is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and do like the video, and see you in the next one.